The Little Minister by J. M. Barrie. Chapter 33. While the 10 o'clock bell was ringing, in the square and wynds, weavers in groups. No, David. Mr. Dishart hadna felt the blow the piper gave him till he ascended the pulpit to conduct the prayer meeting for rain, and then he fainted awa. Thomas Whamond and Peter Tosh scared him to the session house. What an awful shame. How did the minister no come to the meeting? I wonder how you could expect it, Snucky, and his mother dying so suddenly ill. He's at her bedside, but the doctor has little hope. This is what has occurred. Taylor, Mr. Dishart, never got the length of the pulpit. He fell in a swoon on the vestry floor. What caused it? Oh, nothing but the heat. Thrums is so dry that one spark would set it in a blaze. I canna get at the reeks of what keep them frae the meeting, Femmy, but it has something to do with an Egyptian on the hill. Very like he had been trying to stop the gypsy marriage there. I gaed to the manse to speir at Jean what was wrang, but I'm thinking I telled her mair than she could tell me. Man, Andrew, the wit o' it lies with Peter Tosh. He thocht we was to hae sic a terrible rain that he implored the minister no to pray for it, and so angry was Mr. Dishart that he ordered the whole session out of the kirk. I saw them in Coothy's Close, and meekty dour they looked. Yes, as sure as death, Thomas Whamond locked the kirk door in Mr. Dishart's face. I'm a shaking, and small wonder, Margaret, when I've heard this minute that Mr. Dishart's been struck by lightning while looking for Rob Dow. He's no killed, but woe's me, they say he'll never preach again. Nothing of the kind. Was Rob that the lightning struck dead in the doctor's machine. The horse wasn't touched. It came tearing down the roots with the corpse in the machine like a living man. What are you listening to, woman? Is it to a dog barking? I've heard it this while, but it's far awa. In the manse kitchen. Jean, did you not hear me ring? I want you to... Why are you staring out of the window, Jean? I was just a-hearkening to the 10 o'clock bell, ma'am. I never saw you do nothing before. Put the heat in the fire, Jean. I want to iron the minister's neckcloths. The prayer meeting is long in coming out, is it not? The drought, ma'am, has been so cruel hard. And to my shame, I am so comfortable that I almost forgot how others are suffering. But my son never forgets, Jean. You're not crying, are you? No, ma'am. Bring the iron to the parlour then, and if the minister... Why did you start, Jean? I only heard a dog barking. I thought, ma'am, at first I thought it was Mr. Dishart opening the door. Aye, it's just a dog, some gypsy dog on the hill, I'm a-thinking, for sound would carry farther than it. Even you, Jean, are nervous at nights, I see. If there's no man in the house, we shall hear no more distant dogs barking, I'll warrant, when the minister comes home. When he comes home, ma'am. On the middle of a hill, a man and a woman. Courage, beloved, we are nearly there. But Gavin, I cannot see the encampment. The night is too dark. But the gypsy fires? They are in the Toad's Hole. Listen to that dog barking. There are several dogs at the encampment, Babbie. There's one behind us. See, there it is. I have driven it away, dear. You are trembling. What we are doing frightens me, Gavin. Is it at your heelskin? It seems to know you. Oh, Gavin, it is Lord Rintoul's collie, Snap. It will bite you. No, I have driven it back again. Probably the Earl is following us. Gavin, I cannot go on with this. Quicker, Babbie. Leave me, dear, and save yourself. Lean on me, Babbie. Oh, Gavin, is there no way but this? No sure way. Even though we are married tonight, we shall be married in 5 minutes, and then, whatever befall, he cannot have you. But after? I will take you straight to the manse, to my mother. Were it not for that dog, I should think we were alone on the hill. But we are not. See, there are the gypsy fires. On the west side of the hill, 2 figures. Thomas Whamond, I've lost you. Should we gang to the manse down the fields? Wheesht, Hendry. What are you listening for? I heard a dog barking. Only a gypsy dog, Thomas, barking at the coming storm. The gypsy dogs are all tied up, and this one's atween us and the Toad's Hole. What was that? It was nothing but the rubbing of the branches in the cemetery on ane another. It said trees mak that fearsome sound when they're terrified. It was a dog barking at somebody that's stoning it. I ken that sound, Hendry Munn. May I die the death, Thomas Whamond, if a great drop of rain didna strike me the now, and I swear it was warm. I'm for running home. I'm for seeing who drove away that dog. Come back with me, Hendry. I winna. There's no soul on the hill but you and me, and thy daffing and drinking gypsies. How do you no answer me, Thomas? Hi, Thomas Whamond, where are you? He's gone. Hi, then I'll make tracks hama. In the broom, a dog cart. Do you see nothing yet, Mackenzie? Scarce the broom at my knees, Rintoul. There is not a light on the hill. Mackenzie, can that schoolmaster have deceived us? It is probable. Urge on the horse, however. There is a road through the broom, I know. Have we struck again? Rintoul, she's not here. I promised to help you to bring her back to the Spittal before this escapade became known, but we have failed to find her. If she is to be saved, it must be by herself. I dare say she has returned already. Let me turn the horse's head. There's a storm brewing. I will search this gypsy encampment first. If it is on the hill. Hark, that was a dog's bark. Yes, it is Snap, but he would not bark at nothing. Why do you look behind you so often, Mackenzie? For some time, Rintoul, it has seemed to me that we are being followed. Listen. I hear nothing. At last, Mackenzie, at last we are out of the broom. And as I live, Rintoul, I see the gypsy lights. It might have been a lantern that was flashed across the hill. Then all that part of the world went suddenly on fire. Everything was horribly distinct in that white light. The firs of Caddam were so near that it seemed to have arrested them in a silent march upon the hill. The grass would not hide a pebble. The ground was scored with shadows of men and things. Twice the light flickered and recovered itself. A red serpent shot across it, and then again black night fell. The hill had been illumined thus for nearly half a minute. During that time not even a dog stirred. The shadows of human beings lay on the ground as motionless as logs. What had been revealed seemed less a gypsy marriage than a picture. Or was it that during the ceremony every person on the hill had been turned into stone? The gypsy king, with his arm upraised, had not had time to let it fall. The men and women behind him had their mouths open as if struck when on the point of calling out. Lord Rintoul had risen in the dog-cart and was leaning forward. One of Mackenzie's feet was on the shaft. The man crouching in the dog-cart's wake had flung up his hands to protect his face. The presenter, his neck outstretched, had a hand on each knee. All eyes were fixed, as in the death glare, on Gavin and Babbie, who stood before the king, their hands clasped over the tongs. Fear was petrified on the woman's face, determination on the man's. They were all released by the crack of the thunder, but for another moment none could have swaggered. "That was Lord Rintoul in the dog-cart," Babbie whispered, drawing in her breath. "Yes, dear," Gavin answered resolutely, "and now is the time for me to have my first and last talk with him. Remain here, Babbie. Do not move till I come back." "But Gavin, he has seen. I fear him still." "But he cannot touch you now, Babbie. You are my wife." In the vivid light, Gavin had thought the dog-cart much nearer than it was. He called Lord Rintoul's name, but got no answer. There were shouts behind, gypsies running from the coming rain, dogs whining, but silence in front. The minister moved on some paces. Away to the left he heard voices. "Who was that man, Mackenzie?" "My lord, I have lost sight of you. This is not the way to the camp." "Tell me, Mackenzie, that you did not see what I saw." "Rintoul, I beseech you to turn back. We are too late." "We are not too late." Gavin broke through the darkness between them and him, but they were gone. He called to them and stopped to listen to their feet. "Is that you, Gavin?" Babbie asked just then. For reply, the man who had crept up to her clapped his hand on her mouth. Only the beginning of a scream escaped from her. A strong arm drove her quickly southward. Gavin heard her cry and ran back to the encampment. Babbie was gone. None of the gypsies had seen her since the darkness came back. He rushed hither and thither with a torch that only showed his distracted face to others. He flung up his arms in appeal for another moment of light. Then he heard Babbie scream again, and this time it was from a distance. He dashed after her. He heard a trap speeding down the green sward through the broom. Lord Rintoul had kidnapped Babbie. Gavin had no other thought as he ran after the dogcart from which the cry had come. The earl's dog followed him, snapping at his heels. The rain began. Chapter 34